October 27, 2016 meeting of the Carson City Library Board of Trustees to order. Proceeding with item 1, the roll call.
Chairperson Hayes.
Present.
Vice Chair Solinger. Here. Trustee Grader.
Here.
Trustee Liberati.
Here.
Trustee Patton.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. Moving on to public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the board can come forward now. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, which was September 22nd, 2016. Did everybody have time to review the minutes? And are there any proposed changes? Or if not, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve as submitted.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to item 4, the Friends of the Carson City Library report.
There is a report in your packet. I don't think I have anything to add to it, except craft fair is now going on over there. So come and do some early Christmas shopping. Okay, and we may or may not be participating in the parade on Saturday.
Oh. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 5, Library Board of Trustees business. Starting with item A, scheduling a November 17th Board of Trustees meeting.
Okay, so just some background information on this for you guys. It's not that complicated, but we are required to meet 10 times in a calendar year, and we have had our 10 meetings, but we usually schedule one in November or December, but not both, because the fourth Thursday falls very close to holidays, and so this is what we have proposed.
Where will this meeting go?
Here in the library, we will not be moving to the Sierra Room until January.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't that night that you have proposed here the same night as trivia night?
That I'm not aware of.
Is that
We can move trivia out to the main part of the library, but I do think that is important that we meet in the month of November.
That would be the third.
I think it's right there on the calendar.
Okay.
No.
Because the fourth Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah, it should be on the calendar.
And then we would have no
Trivia
meeting in
night, Thursday,
December.
11/17, 6 to 7:30.
Oh,
And we are advertising that already since we're hosting the refreshments.
Or we can, like, there's other locations where we can do this meeting. We can do it upstairs. We've done that in the past.
Is it absolutely imperative that we do it in November? Do you have things coming up that need to be? Because I think sometimes in the past we combined them all like around the first week in December or something and said, that's it for the rest of the year.
I don't know that I will be available on the fourth Thursday in December. Or actually, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well,
It
not-
would be the fourth if we did it in December.
It would have to be early, like in between November meeting and December meeting, so like, I don't know what, the first Thursday in November or December or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
the first.
December 1st
Can
is
I-
the first Thursday.
I can be flexible as to dates as far as that goes. I think if you guys want to schedule a special meeting and you wanted to modify this motion, you would just do it that
Put in
way.
a different date.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys have the calendar. I think you have the calendar. So, but probably on, let's see if there's anything wrong. But we could do it on a Wednesday. Like, I don't know what your schedules are, but we could do it on a different day than a Thursday.
I'll be on the calendar November 17th matters because we're going forward.
What about November
Well,
16th?
to me, it's like either we do it on, do it in November and take the month of December off, or do it in early December and take the month of November off. I don't know if it matters too much one way or the other. To me, that's good with sticking with Thursday.
I love Thursday.
Right now, Thursday
Yeah.
is the best day.
So in December, we have December 1st, 8th, or 15th, and then we're getting to the 22nd, which is.
So I would say closer to the beginning of the month would be better than,
Closer to the median?
What do you guys think about the 8th?
I'm sorry.
I can't do it on the 8th because I have historic resources.
Yeah, I'm not available on the 8th either.
And I have a conflict on the first.
So
You have a
15th?
conflict on the first?
Yes.
Is everybody okay with the 15th?
You mean the 17th?
It's
If we're
December.
not
December.
They're in
Oh.
December.
No, I like November.
Well, I can't be in two places on Mars.
What was the last suggestion? December what?
15th.
What about November 16th? Is everybody
Is there a problem with the 17th?
of
Of
It's
November.
trivia night.
It's trivia night here at the library, and Diane is going to be gone.
No, that was November.
No, we're talking about November
We're
7th.
talking down to December.
Well,
You're
Pam
going
asked
back and
what-
forth.
Pam asked what the conflict was on the 17th.
Okay, I'm losing track of the month.
And trivia starts at what time?
6.
I'm okay on the 16th of November.
Yeah, me too.
The 16th, which is the Wednesday before the 17th. Are you still gone, Diane?
Yeah. I don't know.
Why?
We're not leaving till Thursday. Okay.
So November 16th.
Could you do the 16th if you're not leaving till the 17th?
Yeah. Yes. Usually we have to leave at 30, so.
So
I think
we'll get you
it's,
home early and you can still get
But sometimes we go to
the plan is reports. So, I mean, I don't expect it to be a heavy meeting.
Okay. Is everybody okay with November 16th?
Yes.
John, how you look?
Yeah, no, that one, I can do that one.
November 16th, is that?
Wednesday, November 16th.
Okay, in that case, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we have the next meeting on Wednesday, November the 16th, to accommodate everybody's holiday schedules.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
All right, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
And that will still be here.
Yes.
Then
Moving on to item B, discussion, possible action and discussion on restoring early closure hours on November 16th due to staff availability.
Okay, so this was an item on the calendar that you had voted for, so that we could close, so that we could provide our staff a Veterans Day holiday for the staff that did not work on Friday. Now that we have shifted our schedule, we don't have to close from 6 to 8 on that day. So we would like to restore those 2 hours to the public.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
sounds like
Sounds like nobody has
Need
a
a
problem
motion
with
for
that.
that?
I would entertain a motion.
Okay, I will make a motion that we do restore those hours now that they're not needed.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All right, those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to item C, possible action and discussion on library services and technology act grants from Nevada State Library Archives and Public Records.
Okay, so both of the grants that we have here today go before you as the library board for approval to move forward in our application process. So we have not received these grants. We are applying for these grants in hopes that we receive money to execute them next year. So that's the kind of the scale that we're looking at. The 2 grants that we have is a competitive grant that's an adult makerspace grant. And myself or Diane can answer any questions that you may have had on that. Natalie is the primary author on that, but she was at the health fair at ODark 30 this morning doing outreach for us, and so she's not here this afternoon. But what we're looking at in this grant is taking the large space upstairs that used to be my office and making it a public access makerspace for adults primarily. We would still run programs in there with youth, but giving the adults the same opportunities or similar opportunities that we have here in the Digitorium.
So there will be classes scheduled and hours,
Correct. So we'll, they
age
do
appropriate.
basic 3D modeling so that they can 3D print. We have the poster printer up in that room currently. We have the large tables that used to be in this back room up there as well. And so it's not completely ideal, but based on the space that we have, that's what we're able to provide. And so we're looking at outfitting that space with the tools and programming within the grant.
Is that going to elicit any additional staff needs?
Not necessarily. We do some of that programming anyway. We just don't have a dedicated space, so we're doing it in the digitorium, taking away time from the teens in the digitorium.
Oh,
So it will just kind of split the space, so then the teens can still be here and the adults can have a space upstairs.
And there's a community outreach element to this, as well as a so-called training for new job opportunities and all that.
Correct. So one of the pieces that we're looking at with this is bringing in makers from our community and even from like Bridgewire, which is a makerspace up in Reno, to help establish that type of community here in Carson. I think that Carson is kind of screaming for an adult makerspace where adults can kind of get their hands on tools that they might not have at home or participate and learn in those types of activities that are hands-on. And so I think that this might help spur a larger movement in Carson as well.
I'm assuming from the last comment that Reno already is doing this in some other libraries.
Reno is not doing it at their libraries. Bridgewire is a private makerspace that you pay a membership to be a part of.
Okay, so STEAM projects are not doing anything.
No, they are, but they're not a full-on maker space in the libraries. They have maker boxes that they transition to different libraries.
So this is separate than the one that goes from school to school.
Correct. The one that goes from school to school is in process now. I believe Diane's going to update you in her report, so I will not speak on that.
So what do you need from us?
Well, so then I'm going to talk about the next one.
Okay, sorry.
And then you can, I think, do it just a cover motion of those. So the next one is a mini grant. So it is a $5,000 grant, and that is for, if I can find the front page of it. The front page of it is going to be on page 25, if you're looking. This is for Playaway audiobook collection upgrade. And if you have any questions or if Amy wants to make any comments on it, Playaways are highly used here at the library and they are generally more expensive. And so getting a grant to help pay for those materials to provide to the public is very helpful. Yes,
You're purchasing these, right?
correct.
Earlier, you talked about leasing books in the previous meeting. Is there a way to lease these?
I do not believe so.
Oh, okay. I knew it was too good to be true.
But we can lease paper book, or, paper.
Yeah,
What is the average cost for
About 75.
she said 60 to 80 for
Yeah.
most things, less for shorter books, more for longer books usually. One of the really nice things, they are a little bit more expensive than, sorry, sorry about that. They're about $60 to $80 each for a Playaway book, depending on the length. One of the best things to me about them is they're very durable compared to a CD audiobook. You can't lose pieces. I think I've seen like one or two of them break ever. Very rarely. And if they do break, they're, I think they cost about $15 to replace them, so they're replacement cost, rather than Kathy can tell you how much she spends maybe on replacing CD books. It's much more expensive.
You know, the worst thing about them is, once they're used so long, the letters wear out. And they're hard to read, you know, the time they go down
On the display.
on display. I think I've gone through every adult one in there, And I can tell you, the ones that are the oldest are the ones that are the hardest to read because they're all,
Probably, yeah.
you know, dumb. And sometimes the buttons get a little stiff. You know, they don't work as well.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're right. They're really durable.
And they have very recently come out with an upgraded player that works a lot better. It's lighter, it's more user-friendly, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
they've worked on some of those issues. So they keep improving, so they're
No,
pretty great for the library.
I'm
How many,
100% for that stuff.
how many uses can you usually get out of them before they're
I don't know. I haven't seen them wear out.
completely wear out?
You know?
We have playaways in our collection from
Yeah.
Well, you know, you had at one time, I think, about 6 or 7 Baldaccis. They are never in. They are never in.
So that's why you want to buy more with this
Yes.
grant, right?
Yes,
Right.
that is correct. Yeah, I'm supposed to say for the record, Amy longer.
The makerspace one? Okay, on the makerspace grant for, development of that project, are there ongoing fees or expenses that'll, to support it, such as subscriptions or technical support or, I don't know?
There
costs?
may be, we have not gotten to the point, so the grant is due in December. So we've not gotten to the point where we're that far forward
I got
in
you. Okay.
determining exactly what is gonna be in that space.
Mhm. Okay.
So there may be,
Replacement raw materials.
Or like,
Replacement raw materials.
maybe mean like software subscriptions and stuff like
End up
that.
with those kinds of possible
Forward or
partnership.
cartridges or things that
Right.
are needed
And I'm
to
sure that something
operate.
like that will be
operate
taken
that
into
equipment.
account when you're building the road.
well, and based on the naming policy that the board approved about a year ago, we can also have some sponsorship opportunities for that room.
Mhm.
So if a local manufacturer or a local company wanted to sponsor that room and maybe some of those costs, that would be something that we could definitely do.
And so the items on, these are just like a preliminary go forward and go on and explore it further type of
Yep.
action here.
And then we'll have Jeremy sign the finalized, as the board chair, he'll sign the finalized grant applications, and then we should find out late January if we've received the funding for those.
Yes.
I would say, based on what we've got in here, that we should give you the go-ahead to keep filling out the applications.
Okay. If there are no further questions or discussion, I would entertain a motion.
Do we need to make them individual?
No, it's more action item.
More action items for both.
I'll move that staff proceed to, in developing the competitive adult makerspace grant and the collection development grant.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll
Second.
Okay, those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to item 6, the library director administrative reports.
Okay, so the first thing that we have here is budget. And Jeremy was not at the last meeting, but what you'll see in these, in the packets from now going forward, you'll also see pie charts with some basic percentages of what has been the revenue that we have and the expenditures that we have. So the revenue, the general city fund, that stays the same unless we go to the city to ask for additional funding, that would stay the same. Our grant funds, that fluctuates depending on if we've received another grant, you'll see that go up. Gift funds, same thing, if we receive a donation, that amount will change. And then the money from the Friends of the Library as well. So, for instance, not reflected here, but the Friends of the Library moved forward with the book bike trailer and putting the deposit on that so that we have a book bike trailer with checkout capabilities, a hotspot, and such by spring, those funds will be reflected as revenue here to go towards that book buy program. So then the next page is our library funding expenditures and where we were at as of last week for our general funds, our grant funds, spending in our gift fund, and spending from the funds of the library. And then you'll see it broken down into each of the line items for the gift fund. And then you'll see the detailed budget sheet for the general fund there as well. Are there any questions on the general fund?
Just see the picture where you did get the unanimous okay for the Klan.
Yes, and that's forward. I will talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, so the grant funding, you'll see here that we had funding for the statewide reading program, as well as our mobile makerspace, that's what the MM stands for, in operating supplies. So we're starting to spend out of that grant as well. And the ones that have a $0 amount there, we just have not spent out of there, but those are funds that we do get. The Bully Free Zone is our mini grant this year, so our $5,000 grant this year. And then state collection development and El Dia de Niños is something that we get from the state library. So are there any questions on those expenses? Okay, moving on to the gift fund, which is page 41. Forget I can tell you page number. So what you'll see here, because the Friends funding is in the gift fund, I've put both of these pie charts on the same page. So under gift fund, you'll see expenses that were just spent out of the gift fund, but not necessarily Friend funded. And then the Friends funding is specific funding that was from the Friends that we asked for this fiscal year. For this calendar year, I should say. Not fiscal. Are there any questions on the expenses there? Okay, so just so you guys know, we are done with the back room now. The punch card is done, so we will be expending the remainder of the funds that are encumbered for that piece that was approved by the library board. So the back room is complete. All the items are in and in good condition.
Excellent.
Okay, so with that, my administrative report, I would say the biggest excitement was with just what Phyllis was saying. Our Cooperative Libraries Automated Network bill was over $50,000. What that means is that it has to go to the Board of Supervisors for approval for payment. Now, that being said, this library board approves our contract for the Cooperative Libraries Automated Network and approves the expense to pay for that as long as it is not over $50,000. So we did take that to the Board of Supervisors, and that did pass unanimously, as it was budgeted in our budget. You'll see here, we did start the new library hours. We have received pretty positive input from those hours. We even had on that first day that we opened earlier at 10, we had people peeking out in the window waiting. We're running it open the door. So that is exciting. And even closing a little bit early, that hour early on Saturday and then Sunday, we have not seen too many complaints about losing that hour because people are so happy to gain the other hours during the week. Okay, so, and then just a brief report for our staff development days. We were closed 2 days thanks to this board, and we were able to take our staff down to Las Vegas to participate in the Nevada Library Association Conference. Each of the staff were assigned a session, And that session they will then present on during our next staff development day so that other staff can also learn from those sessions as well. They were great sessions. There was really good attendance in those sessions. And I presented at 2 sessions, and then we also had a poster for our 3D printing policy that this library board approved. That went over very well, and we had a lot of libraries asking about that, and they're looking at implementing similar policies. So then you'll also see on the back of that report, this is just a handout about the Cooperative Libraries Automated Network that was given to the Board of Supervisors. And I just wanted to point out, just in 2016, the Carson City Library, which is one of the largest ones in the system, we actually borrowed 8,769 items from other libraries, while only loaning 7,524. But it was a net savings to us if the books were only $15 a piece, which is a low cost of at least $18,000 by being a partner in that cooperative. And that's only one of the services that we receive from the cooperative.
And that's not something these other libraries lost out on. It
No,
was
correct. They're
a net
members.
gain for everybody.
Yeah, they're members of this too, so they're saving money as well.
Excellent.
Okay, so with that, I conclude my reports, if there's no other questions.
Phenomenal. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 7, the other administrative reports, starting with the grants administration.
Hi, Diane Baker for the record, and excited for you to see some of the things that are going on with the mobile makerspace. What you have in front of you is the images of the van wrap. The van is going to be completed next week. We were hoping for Nevada Day, but that didn't work out with the timing with Vital Signs that's doing the wrap of our van. And so we think that's a cool design that's going to be an eye catcher as we're going out. The other update I have on that is on Monday I'll be interviewing a candidate for our Makerspace trainer, as that's part of the grant as well. We have a majority of the kits that are in and ready to go, so we're going to be rolling here and have that really underway. The other item that is listed at the bottom was an update that I got from our partner WNC as our MT1 program still also keeps rolling along, and she was able to confirm actually now over 20 individuals that have participated in the program have secured employment with manufacturers.
Nice.
Oh, great.
Out of how
We
many?
haven't been able to contact all of the individuals.
Out of
that
how
have-
many?
Over 20. She had reported.
No. How many have gone through the program?
Oh, through the program, as the grant-funded program was 61 completed. We actually had a few more that did not complete. They either dropped out or were not able to complete, but we had 61 complete.
So we have about a third of them
that we've been able to
successfully
verify.
employed.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Okay. Minimum.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's several that we're pretty sure have gone on to secure employment, but they haven't contacted us back from the emails that we've sent out. So if you had any other questions? Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to the creative learning update.
So I know I don't look like Natalie, but it's Natalie's report that you have in front of you, and just a couple of things from that report that I think are really exciting. We did have 2 new interns from the school district start working, and that was out of 19 students who applied, so there was definite interest in coming over here and working here in the digitorium. And the other thing, I gave you a flyer just before the start of the meeting. This one right here, talking about Think Kindness. This is part of another LSTA grant. This individual will be coming in and giving 2 presentations, events at actual schools here in the community, and then there'll be a third event over at the Bob Baldrick Theater. So we're very excited about that. The details are in Natalie's report, so I won't belabor those topics unless you have any questions about them specifically. What I really want to talk about is on the screen over there. So if you look at that screen, last night, well, we had a Halloween party here at the library.
And I'm gonna scroll through some pictures.
And
Boy,
yes,
did we.
and so if, see that was part of our costume contest. That was actually one of our teen volunteers. I'll talk a little bit more about their involvement in the teen liaison report. But that right there was the line to get into the event. We had activity stations all throughout the room in here. We had 2 more activity stations in the teen portal in the back. We eventually had to turn people away at the end of the line just because of how many people there were. They weren't able to all get through every activity, and I was moving them around. So we had to go to the costume contest, or else we were going to be partying all night. Which I guess would have been fun too, but we had to go home at some point, right? And so we had to estimate our count. That's how many people. We had planned for about 100 people. The estimate that we took away was about 350 were here in the building. We were crammed.
350 in the building, then you turn people away.
Yeah, well, when I say turn away, I mean just from some of the activity stations. We didn't have time for them. We didn't throw anyone out of the building.
Oh,
We just-
Participate.
Yeah, we
Didn't sound
had
like
so
what it
many
is.
kids participating in every activity that eventually
That's a lot better.
we had to shut down the activities.
Right.
No, we didn't kick anybody out of the library. Should clarify that. So this was, so we had a costume contest, different age categories, pre-K, elementary, middle school, high school. Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, just dominated the adult category. There was really no contest there, but everyone had
There he
a
is.
lot of fun at this event. I like to quote Rachel on this. Rachel's been here 16 years, I think. She said she has never seen such a successful library event, Halloween party, anything. So our team has been doing a really good job of marketing and getting the word out about these events, and this is the result. It doesn't hurt that it's Halloween though. Everybody likes Halloween. So our upcoming events in creative learning, we have Turkey Bingo that's coming up on November 15th at 6:30. It's going to be as fun as it sounds, I hope. And then Tech Cafe, you might know over at the schools, at the high school, they provide a Tech Cafe for parents. A lot of the online support and the online resources through the school district, some parents aren't quite as up to speed as others, and they've been offering opportunities for them to receive one-on-one help. And so that's going to be moving over here. We're going to be doing that on November 2nd, 16th, and December 7th. So again, leveraging that partnership between us and the school district. And
It's upstairs in the hub.
it's not going to be in here. I mean, here in the library, not this room. And then we're going to be building gingerbread houses on December 18th, which I think is a Sunday. So that's going to be exciting. I'm sure you'll hear more about that in one of Natalie's future reports. But that's some of the fun activities that we're doing here at the library. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I actually have one for you.
Okay.
Is there something specific that you can identify that you guys did differently with your marketing that led to the line out the door with the Halloween that we could replicate in the future?
I think we might have to think on that because
Right.
it just happened yesterday.
Remember, I was expecting 100 people, and
Right.
I was worried we might only hit 80, and instead we had triple.
Right.
The only thing I can think of is that we've been working really hard to be more consistent on, resharing our events and putting out additional posts, putting pictures on Instagram. We've been a little more haphazard in the past, so maybe just the fact that we're making a more consistent message
Right.
has been helping, but I'll have to take that question back to the rest of the team, see if there's something we did that was different. I think it might just be people are finally viewing the library as a fun space. We still get people. I was at the Railroad Museum for an outreach event all day. I think it was the director, well, one of the people in charge over there, he asked me a question. He's like, well, where do you see libraries going in the 21st century? And I, of course, gave my answer, that we're not just about books, we're a community center for bringing people together for learning, and I went into more detail. And he was surprised, because he wanted to ask me about his bookstore at the Railroad Museum. That's what he was expecting me to talk about, and I didn't mention books once. And I said, well, yeah, and we still have books. So I think just working on that overall idea that the library does so much more for the community,
Right.
it might just finally be, percolating and permeating the consciousness.
Catching on.
Yeah.
And then
Any other questions?
I just wanted to make 2 comments. Just to clarify, the Digitorium internships are paid by the Carson City School District. So those are individuals who are working here in the library to gain employable and marketable skills that the school district is paying them to be here. And then the bully-free zone, that's something that we're also working with the new arts and culture individual from CCDB about a potential mural in the future on our 2-story library building. Related to the bully-free zone and anything.
Does anyone know if the Walgreens food clinic is free?
I do not believe that it is.
I didn't
The
think
Carson
so.
City Health and Human Services one was.
All right,
I think it's,
prorated.
Natalie was working with them on that, but I think it's like $25.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to our access services update.
For the record, Kathy Rush, Access Services Manager. So in the report in front of you, I've covered a couple things. The first is our circulation part of our team is providing premier library cards to all of the Carson High School freshmen as part of the partnership there for them to create their public service announcement here using our space and our equipment and what have you. There are 19 classes of students that are coming over here in about a month's time to get those premier cards, and so it's a lot of coordination, a lot of work, which our circulation librarian Maria has been coordinating with Natalie and her team to make that go smoothly. And so far, about 220 freshmen have signed up. There are many more. It's like 800 or 900 altogether, but we're getting through them slowly. One of the things that Maria ran into is that some of those freshmen do not have lost their school ID, which is required to really proceed and finish the application. But a workaround was figured out where Maria can go online to the high school and see the student's profile, and it's got their photo, their full name, and their class, what they are, freshman and sophomore. And so with that information, she can move forward and get them set up so that it doesn't stall the process. And then in the technical services side, we do offer video games here at the library for the kids to play, and many of them are cataloged, but we are working to get them all cataloged so that the kids will check them out in order to use them, which does tell us who hasn't, and it does provide accountability on their part, and also gives us statistics. So that is a project to catalog and process and number, and we also tag them with RFID tags so that they are secure and can't just leave them. So, are there any questions?
Thank you very much. And moving on to our collection development report.
thing on here is the CATS lease. It's been 1 year since we started doing a children's and teen services lease. So we wanted to check back and see how it's been doing. In short, it's been doing great. What I chose to show you over on the side there is the turnover rate for the items in that collection compared to the regular youth fiction and youth nonfiction collections, and they are much higher. So these are the brand new books, best, most fun things in fiction and nonfiction for Jude through YA generally. And we have also, I think I put it down here, I think in June or July, we picked 30 titles from the lease to send over to the Boys and Girls Club so they could have some of the new books, and I think that upped the circulation there pretty well. That was very successful, though they're also doing quite well in their little mini branch there. So yeah, the turnover, yeah, the checkouts per item is doing great. We're focusing going forward on the new high demand fiction titles for juvenile and YA because we never have enough. The kids come in, they have their favorite series, and we're like, they're all gone. So this has helped us have enough to go around for everybody, so that's been wonderful. Also, recently, we were approved for the State Collection Development Grant, so we are going to be using that with our nonfiction collection. I did some work on kind of seeing what kinds of materials and how old they were in our collection and how they were doing. And about half our collection is more than 14 years old. So we're going to work on getting that number a little bit younger with those funds, so that'll be really helpful. Any questions?
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to our Youth Liaison Board of Trustees update.
So I turned 30 in about 6 months, so I hope that means I'm not the youth liaison anymore. But since a member from our Teen Leadership Council couldn't be here tonight, I just thought I would talk a little bit more about the Halloween party because it went so well. Like I said, we were expecting about 100 people. That's what we planned for. We had 3 times as many numbers. And even though our Teen Advisory Board and our Teen Leadership Council are relatively new in that we've split them out and have a middle school group and a high school group, we would not have had a successful night without them. If you look at that picture up there, I think this is from Nevada Photo Source. In the corner, behind the cute kids having fun, that's Andrew Morris, and he is one of the members of our Teen Advisory Board. And I was expecting to run both stations back there because I didn't know how many of our volunteers were going to show up. We had 5 altogether, 4 from the Teen Leadership Council and Andrew. And he was a trooper. I could tell he was starting to get a little overwhelmed by the numbers that were coming through. And again, just without them, the event would not have gone as smoothly. They helped us with decorations and prep. Your report talks about that in a little bit more detail. But so far, we've had good groups in both areas, Teen Advisory Board, Teen Leadership Council. We are looking at recruiting more members, especially on the Teen Advisory Board. The middle schoolers are seemingly not as interested, but we're gonna work on marketing and getting this out to them. But just the ones who are there, these right here are 3 of our teen volunteers. He was a trash mummy, in case you're wondering what his costume was. They helped us out, and were actually keeping us afloat because they were going back and forth between where I was in the front so that I knew what was going on. So the event, again, without their support, would not have been as successful. Any questions?
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to item 8, board member announcements and RFIs. Did anybody have anything? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 9, public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the library board can come forward at this time. Seeing none, we will move on to item 10, for possible action, adjournment. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Also move.
Okay.
Second.
All right, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you. you.